I mean, good. Welcome, everybody. It's our November Library Board meeting. So welcome. Sarah, could you do roll call, please?
Of course. I've got Donna Clark,
Present.
Heather Dale, present. Lauren Davidson, present. Jane Donnelly,
Present.
Councilor Degree, and Tracy Stevens.
Present.
Chair, we have quorum.
Thank you. As we gather, we would like to acknowledge that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Honoring the traditional territories of the Indigenous peoples is one of the 94 calls to action of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's report. To do this properly, we encourage everyone to learn more about the lands we call home, as we all have a role to play in reconciliation. Does anyone have a conflict of interest this evening? No? None declared, Sarah? Okay. We need a motion to accept the October minutes. So the motion would be that the Renfrew Public Library Board approve the regular board meeting minutes of October the 21st. Someone like to make that motion? Donna, thank you. And second? Thank you, Heather. We good, Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
All right, great.
Everybody can take a
Oh, all in favor? Thank you. All right, great. All right, what's next? Financial statements. Great. Do I need to read the motion first?
to put on the table. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So to put it on the table, a motion, please, that the Renfrew Public Library Board accept the October 24, yes, financial statement as presented. All right, Heather, thank you. And second? Thank you, Lauren. All right, Maggie.
Do we not discuss it at this point?
Yes, we discuss it now.
Okay.
Yeah, so Maggie.
So I didn't think we approved the motion.
I know, I'm getting this always.
Yeah.
Language accepted as presented is a little
Okay.
funny,
Yeah, it's,
when really it's just a motion to bring
To
to
discuss
table,
it.
to bring it to the
Yes,
board.
yes.
Gotcha.
So it is a little confusing.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely. So we have to put the motion forward, then we check,
Right, okay.
and then we
All right.
vote on it. All right, so Maggie.
Any questions? I have a question. Could you take us through the financial statement a little bit?
Sure.
So the top portion obviously are the revenues. So we had over 5,000 in membership fees come in. Oh, that's year to date, sorry. So this month it was $42 in other fees and charges, over 600 in membership fees, over 600 in fundraising. We had some patrons book our program room. So that's facility rentals. Book money is if anyone paid for any lost items. And then there was over 300 in photocopying, which kind of reflects how busy we are in the Aldo department with copying and faxing and those items. And then the expenditures, salaries, overtime, and I'm not sure about the overtime. I'll have to look into that one because no one should have been paid overtime, but I will check. And then benefits. So books, we had about over 1,000 in invoices for our books. We received a bunch of new audiobooks, that's under audiovisuals. Computer supplies, we paid for a couple of invoices through Valley Bytes. Internet, that's our regular Wi-Fi service and our hotspots. Everything else, like heating, fuel, electricity,
I had a question
telephone.
on the general advertising. Why was that?
Yes, so
Right.
that's a credit because we had paid for one of the Renfrew roundups, but we were reimbursed because that wasn't actually from our budget.
Oh, I see.
So we were reimbursed that cost. And special events, that was Ian Hamilton, and there was also, let me just double check. There's Ian Hamilton, there's some things for the art night. No, actually, the candy for Freaky Friday was donated. So, oh, it was also for we had the CEO meeting. So the cost for lunch and things like that. And then we had our supersized library card and our new library membership card. Those came out of special events and programs for Ontario Public Library Week. And then the building repairs and maintenance, it's quite large, but it's the second half of the painting and sanding
Okay.
came out.
Maggie, could I just ask you to
Mhm.
look at postage and shipping?
Yes.
So am I reading that right? The budget was 500?
So that's true, but we are reimbursed by OLS,
Interlibrary.
like it's for our interlibrary loans through Souls. Yeah, so it is.
Oh, okay, so that changes, because it
That'll
just,
change.
it just
The
looks
13th
very
month.
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
That's one of
so
those 13th
so
month.
it's that high, but we will be we
Okay,
will be
thank you.
reimbursed for our interlibrary loan
Okay,
service.
thank you.
No problem. And then, so the other expense, it wasn't all the painting and sanding, we also we had to replace a number of light bulbs throughout the library, and they're quite expensive.
Mhm.
And so we ordered quite a few at once so that we're well stocked for the future, because it was part of our health and safety check. And for me to sign off, I still not able to sign off on through the Ontario electricity. They service library. I can't sign off yet because we're still waiting for some light covers. So once we receive those, that'll be done. But yeah, there's those, and then I think the rest is pretty much the same. Is there any questions about the rest of the financial statement? And you'll notice we're still waiting on some of our payments, so some of our revenues, so.
And I noticed one in the bottom, the capital one for 16,000,
Yes,
it goes in and out, so it, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
So that makes sense now.
Yeah.
All right,
What do you mean by it goes in and out?
so under capital, this is what I was wondering about, why?
Oh, the grant,
Yeah, so the grant was in, but then the expenses are made here, yeah, yeah, so that one, yeah. So that,
I see, so it's gone, the money has gone out and we're still waiting for the grant to come in.
Mhm.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. It's funny trying to understand some of those items,
Yeah,
yeah.
especially because I'm not used to the accounting,
Model.
thing of putting in brackets, what is, an overpayment or, yeah. So it's funny to read,
And yeah, we'll get used to it.
yeah.
Yeah, me too.
If it was negative, I would understand. If it was negative $16,000, I would see that. But it's in brackets,
Yes, yes. All right, anybody else have any questions? No? All right, so do I have to read the motion again, Sarah?
You can for clarification.
All right, so, alrighty. So we need to vote as to the Renfrew Public Library accepting the October 24 financial statement as presented. All in favor? Okay, carried. Thank you. All right. Oh, Maggie, library statistics were pretty awesome.
Yes, it was a good month.
It was great.
Well, obviously you'll note that the people who came into the library visits were quite high, but that does reflect Freaky Friday. So, but otherwise I feel like we were still pretty much even across the board. There was no great drop or anything.
And the extra library cards? That was nice.
Yeah, we signed up quite a few, and I know that during programming and things, we've really been encouraging people to sign up for cards. And we're hoping that with the library card drive, we are gonna get more memberships, because like I said, our goal was to get over 50% of Renfrew with a library card, and we're almost there.
Are we, how close are we?
So there's, well, 8,000
Yeah, I
in
know.
Renfrew. If we're at 3,000, like, it's close, like, but we're hopeful
Mhm.
that at least everyone who is capable of coming to the library will get a library.
And we always need to remind ourselves that sometimes there's one card per family,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
So there's often more than those numbers
Yes.
show for that reason.
And I'm not sure when the last census was, but as soon as there's another census, we'd also like
Donna's
to kind of
thinking.
update our goals. I think it was 2021. I'm thinking that that's the last numbers that I have for Renfrew, but that'll be good for the next one to adjust our membership goals.
The other one I found really, really fabulous was the e-resources.
They're really going up.
That was
Yes.
fabulous.
They are,
Over almost 1,900.
yeah, it's the ebooks and the e-audiobooks are very popular, especially I find as people are leaning away from our physical CD audiobooks. They really do rely on Overdrive, Libby, and Hoopla for those.
And the hubs and the Chromebook loans were up as well. think they were-
Yes,
those
they're
numbers were
on a
great.
different page, yeah.
And computer bookings, why was that so high? That's really,
Yeah, I find sometimes we just have steady patrons
Oh, yeah.
who come in and they'll
that's a
just keep
lot.
booking and booking, yeah, but it counts even if they book one
Like,
time
yeah.
and then they leave and then they come back, so
Yeah.
it counts
Yeah,
as
of
another
course.
use, so.
Oh, yeah, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that really is an indication the library's being
Is-
used a lot.
It is.
Some of that, no buses, like kids coming here.
In October, it could have been, like, we did have the more kind of tweens and teens in the library, and we had a few families that would kind of
Fair.
spend the day.
I know a lot of my kids, like, I'm just gonna walk to the library, they're gonna pick me up there. at
Yeah.
4:30
Yeah.
Instead of waiting in school.
Like,
which is
we've
fine.
had days where we had no terminals available. Like, they're all in use, so, and we have handed out Chromebooks in that case and just say, use one of these until one becomes available. But no, everything's well used. We are gonna have to update our Chromebooks. So hopefully I can find a grant for that, because a lot of people are saying they're quite slow.
Usually
but-
5 year.
Is that
Yeah.
part of our 5-year strat plan? Having a plan
Up-to-date
for the end
technology?
date of
It
that sort of
can
thing?
be, but that's more, I think, more of a budget as opposed to, like, it
Yeah,
can
that
be a
makes
line
sense.
in it
Yeah.
having up-to-date technology, but to actually get the money.
Yeah,
might
because
be
they have a
budgeted.
shelf life, so to
Yeah.
speak. Yeah,
They do.
Yeah, they
I
do.
find a lot of technologies like that.
they're being used a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other clarification? I know that there was a question about the drop in the website visits. I'm still not sure if maybe this is just a more accurate number because the websites, like, maybe the stats are just clearer as opposed to it actually being such a large drop. But I know a lot of people connect with us more on Facebook
Social media.
and social media as opposed to going directly to our website. But I will, I was gonna contact Insignia, Emily's meeting with them tomorrow. So I was gonna just see if maybe we can kind of get that number of visits to the library catalog to check out our materials versus to our actual website. Because if someone has the link saved automatically to go to Insignia, we might not necessarily be including that stat instead of just
I
the
wonder if
website.
even if you Google it, like if I'm wondering about hours, if I Google it, I don't actually have to click on the website.
No, it's
the
just on,
overview would
it's
be
just on
there.
Google. Yeah. So we wouldn't get a stat for that as well.
Well, good to know.
Okay, but I will make a note to check with Insignia. Any other questions about the stats?
Yeah, they're looking really good.
I love that there are lots of new, younger. Those numbers are always going up, which is even better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's lots going on, lots.
Yeah. Like it is quite the list when you look at the programs and everything. Like I feel like we are doing a wide array array of programs that offer something for everyone. Yeah.
Okay, great. Wonderful, Maggie. Okay, anything you want to add to the activity report? Lots of exciting stuff.
Yeah, I think it's like the biggest thing in the activity report was Susan's decision to retire. Obviously everyone has seen our book tree carving. And
Really
yeah,
good. Yeah.
and we're excited. I did talk to Jane or Donna, someone today, about the actual unveiling, where I would ask if Same IFM could just do a short piece about it and about Marion's family donating the carving to the library in memoriam.
Fabulous.
Yeah, so that's this Friday. So there'll be a ceremony from 1 to 3:30. People can drop in, and it is available online, but it's not something we're necessarily
So what,
promoting.
so
It's just
1
if you
to-
knew. It's 1 to 3:30.
on Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
The family's not sure if we'll actually have attendance for that complete period, but there will be just a memorial set up in the program room. And then we're hoping to go and take a picture with the family and the carving to share on social media and with the public.
Excellent.
So all our renovations are complete for the year. The area at the end of the ramp was finished, and I don't know if anyone used it yet, but it's the flooring's nice. It's all cleaned up. Everything looks good. So we're happy about that. And the entrances are being well used. And I've had comments that it's a lot smoother coming up the walkway now that it's not the not tile. The interlocking. They said it's nice and smooth to go up.
It is.
So I'm just waiting to see how it holds up for the winter and make sure no one slides down it. But it looks great. We're happy
Well,
with
it has a rough surface and it will be sanded or salted
Yes.
as per usual,
Yep.
right? As
Yeah.
everything else would be. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
There's a few policies I'm currently working on. I didn't bring them to the table today, but we just wanted to clarify the ages in the children, tween, teen, adult. So that's something that I'm just reaching out to other libraries to see exactly how they do that, because in our policy, and it was brought forward actually with the job posting for Susan's job, because her job description was 0 to 12. But if we are including an age group as a tween, really it goes up to 13 to include. So we're just working all that out, and then I'll bring the policy to be approved, hopefully. And we'll just go on what other libraries use as theirs. Astronomy in Action is booked. We're very excited that they're coming in February. And we're hoping to get a full group for each session. So it's up to 30. And even like that's really, if we just had one classroom come, like that's a full group. So hoping that that sells out. And Freaky Friday was great. Public Library Week was great. Ian was fantastic. Any questions about anything in the program report?
I love the library card thing. That's a really
I
good idea.
know. Well, because Susan had brought up she wanted to do a photo booth, and I'm like, well, why don't we get the large cards?
Yeah,
Yeah, so they're really cute,
Yeah.
and we can continue to use them for all our
Yeah.
activities, as well as if we go out to do some outreach programming, we can have them on display.
That's great. Like when we did the fruit, would be a good place to
Yeah, and the link on the children's card is actually the link to a card where Susan, when she hands out a sample, it links to a card that says sign up new membership. Yeah, so that's great. And Amber Sweeney from Sweeney Creations did those for us, actually. I can't,
I did have one question.
yes.
It was just don't know what it is. What's rock? What's this? ROC.
So it's the Renfrew Organizational Committee, I think.
Okay.
I think it's all of the organizations in Renfrew that put on certain programming and they meet together, because I know Jan is there and Janine with the town is there, and the chamber and VIA.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the acronyms were, but maybe Renfrew Organizational Committee, but I will double check. Acronym. And it's great that the library is there and present, because then we can try not to do that planning on top of each other and oversaturate the community with duplicated programs. Oh, looks like I had a little editing issue on the book bricks. So they were actually, I know this was coming soon, but I was there when Janet did them and they're really lovely.
Are they?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the spring, because we're not going to put them out right now because they'll probably get destroyed whenever it starts snowing. But they're really, really cute. And we have some left over for future programs. So that is good. And yeah, shout out to Emily. Our social media is doing really well. And we're looking forward to, we were talking about having the staff all have a astronomy night so we can all learn how to use telescope. So we will see. It's quite fancy.
It looks fancy.
But you can put your cell phone in and there's a program. So, and we have it downloaded to the staff cell phones. So anyone running the program can use it. So yeah, very exciting. Okay, and I think that's it for the activity report.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions or comments? That was wonderful, Maggie. Always such a pleasure to read the whole thing, from start to finish. We are a busy little library. Great. Okay, so we're okay to move on to new business? All right, so Sarah, you help me get this straight, because there are a bunch of things all on the same topic here. All right, so in order to have this chit chat about strategic planning, we need a motion that the Renfrew Public Library Board direct the chair to contact Ontario Library Service for assistance with strategic planning. So I believe that's the first step. Okay, so now I talk, or do we need a motion for that? We need a motion for that, please. Lauren and Heather, thank you very much. All right, so I think at our last meeting, Kelly brought up, or Jane, you brought up that a 5-year strat, that a 5-year strat plan was pending and necessary, right? So I have since asked Maggie for a copy of it.
Thank you.
You are welcome to have that. And Donna has brought one too, if you want to circulate or take a peek.
It is on our website.
It is on the website, yes, yes, thank you, I did subsequently find that. So there was a virtual board member information session that I attended virtually just about a week ago, I guess, and it was open to all of us. I know you all got the email. But anyway, I'm glad I went, I enjoyed it. Lots of items on that particular workshop were not something that really impacted us in any way, because they weren't things that we were questioning or needing information or help with. But I did ask the question about 5-year strategic plan, because I believe Kelly had mentioned that their services are available and that the cost may not have been prohibitive. So pardon me?
For our size, it was 0, right?
Yes, so that's the good news. So I asked the question of the host of the session, and she was great. So she said she would attach it when the evening was over, and that is what I printed for you. So I printed exactly what she sent in my email. So that's all the information I have at the moment. And yes, Heather, it does look like populations of 15,000 and under, 15,000 and under, there is 0 cost to consult with us. So what I gather is we'll have to have a chat just to get things started, but they do help in lots of ways. There will be costs on a case-by-case basis, I believe, if travel was necessary. So for example, if they have to come and see us for some reason, or stay over, or whatever, then there would be a cost involved, but that just makes sense. But if we just need them virtually to head meetings, to brainstorm or whatever, that service is available.
I just noticed from the other strategic plan that you sent around, Maggie, that it was the Whistler Library. They took a fair amount of they did a fair amount of public consultation. And I just wondered what was envisioned for the Renfrew Public Library or library board, I guess.
So we can do, so part of the card drive is the physical printed survey. We have a few upcoming co-op placements where if that was something that you wanted to look into, we can definitely offer that to the immediate areas surrounding the library if they were printed, or people could pick it up if we wanted the printed survey about what we usually ask, what's most important in your library, what are some improvements or what you're looking for in your public library. We can do that. We can do the survey for sure. We can also offer a virtual option. I'm not sure if you wanted to have a public evening where we invite the community in to give us their feedback in person.
Were you on the last one? Were you involved in the last strat
I
plan?
didn't
I
create
didn't see your
it,
name on
no.
that committee.
No,
You were part of the staff
Staff.
committee,
Yeah.
right,
Mhm.
right. And I believe we have two board members that were involved with this strat plan last time. Is that correct? So Donna, you were involved, and Jane, you were involved. So we're going to appreciate your input and wisdom and past experience and all of this, because I'm learning it all brand new. Brand new, but looking forward to it, of course. Okay, so we need to figure a whole lot of things out, basically. First of all, we need to determine whether or not you support going to OLS and asking some questions, and if you'd like me to do that on our behalf.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Because
I
I
think it depends if
Yes.
the cost, like if it is free, then I'd say yes.
Well, that
If
would be
there's-
my first question.
Yeah.
Tell them what we're doing and tell them we've read this
Because I was getting the
information.
the impression from this stuff that they
As long as it's
there were
virtual.
costs built into everything.
Well, yes, that is
Yeah.
very true.
It's the flat rate travel fee.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. But I also felt from reading this that there's a template to follow and possibly a guideline for just a generic.
There is in the, actually, I was reading it today, there's actually a self-guided one.
Yes, and that may be what,
49-page
and
one.
that may be what we choose, and we certainly need to like pull those
Yeah.
things together.
Yeah, and if we can get free facilitation, that's even
Exactly,
better.
and virtual conversation just to brainstorm and ask questions.
Or even just guide.
Yeah, or to guide, all of the above, absolutely. But I would love to connect with someone so we have a go-to person, even for that, to answer some of our questions.
Yeah.
So I guess right now is we need to decide as a group, do we want to take that first step? And do you want me to do it?
Yes, please.
To connect. Okay, so it's on the table that the Renfrew Public Library Board direct the chair to contact OLS, Ontario Library Service, for assistance with our 5-year strategic plan. So all in favor?
Depending on cost, that's my big thing.
Oh,
because
that,
we're- yeah.
absolutely.
So I'm putting that proviso in because.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think it-
I think
Absolutely.
that is just reaching out to them.
This,
though.
this is
Yeah,
just
yeah,
reaching
yeah,
out,
yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
We're going to go under the assumption that 15,000 people in our population, we are less, that we are going to just.
Are we less?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Renfrew in Horton or just Renfrew?
We would just count us as.
As
Renfrew.
Renfrew.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
counting as Renfrew.
Mhm.
Technically, we are less.
Yes, we are
But
technically.
Even with the
Yeah.
new census done tomorrow, we would be less.
Yes.
Correct,
Mhm.
correct. Yeah. No commitments for money. This is just for me to reach out on our behalf. Okay? Okay, so shall we do that again to make it all proper?
Are you good?
Since we continued our, okay, all in favor of this motion? Okay, I will do that. All right, so there's a part 2. So, in order to have subsequent discussion, we need a motion that the members of the Renfrew Public Library Board form a strategic planning committee. So could I have someone please make that motion? Thank you, Heather, and someone second the motion. Thank you, Jane. So now we can discuss it.
So you're looking for a subcommittee or just that the board be the committee?
Well, it's my understanding from chatting with Jane and Donna, just helping me understand what this is that apparently we form a committee. Jane, can you talk to that?
Well, yeah, the last time we did it, basically the board was the committee and
Okay,
we
so it
each
wasn't a
were
subcommittee.
kind of assigned tasks as part of that committee.
So when we look at this
We didn't
one,
have we didn't have a subcommittee.
No.
so were all of these people on this last page part of this committee?
Yeah.
So, okay, so it's the trustees, that would be us, as well as, library
Well,
staff.
it was
Is that
mostly-
correct?
Yes, the library staff did.
We did some
the
input,
work,
I think.
input and
Yeah.
stuff.
So we worked
We
together,
worked together,
but were we
yes.
all part of one committee or were there two committees or?
The library staff kind of worked independently from the board.
Okay, so,
With- Well, not completely, because we had focus groups and worked together, for example, like Susan Tuff would have worked on some of the focus groups. We had about three meetings with different
Community
different community
community
groups.
groups, okay.
Like the school came, our school.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't remember.
That's okay.
So Janet's on here, so would it be on
I
the
think
late?
I was on my maternity
Yeah.
leave.
Okay,
At
this
least
was-
part of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
I know
that's
Susan
okay.
Tuff was
Yeah.
involved.
it's okay, like, we're all starting fresh,
Yeah.
we're all starting over, it's 5
But
years
I'm
later.
definitely comfortable helping with whatever you need.
And I'm wondering if, the details of all of this, are kind of discussed and figured out at the committee level. Like, I don't know, like, we're definitely need as a board to discuss the fact that we need a committee to do this, and that we do need to work on a new 5-year strategic plan. But working out all these little things about who does what and whatever, and how we do reach out to the community for input and different vested interest groups, and how we reach out to people that we would like to reach out to that we may not otherwise. How do we do that? I don't know. Am I on the right track? Am I?
Is there a perceived deadline for the strategic plan?
Well,
Is
it's-
there an approximate deadline, I guess?
Well, this one
And
ends,
Yeah.
as of December 2024, December 31st.
Mhm.
So if you wanted it, it's gonna take a few months, obviously, if you're looking for a lot of community input. So I would maybe, hopefully,
start with.
yeah, soon, and then you would kind of want it in place, just because even, I know our budget, will be a bit delayed this year, just with all the changeover happening. Because our budget would also, whatever our strategic plan is, that's kind of gonna be reflected in where our resources are allocated. So if you decide that you want our library to become a technology learning center,
It needs to be the budget.
it needs to be in our budget. So I think it is just, the board would give us, you would kind of make your outline of what you're looking for, tell or ask us how we can help, what input you would like from the library, how we can assist with, gaining the community input.
And what would the timeline be like? Are you talking about the budget if we needed money to?
No, it's not
Assist, is that
that.
what you're
It's
talking
just
about?
more, if you're looking for our 2025 budget to reflect your 2025 portion of your strategic plan, the sooner you have the plan, the easier it is for us to
I'm guessing it would take at least 6 months though to
Mhm.
Yes.
get
get all the
all
input that you
the
would like.
input and
You could
the
When I
guidance.
probably do it in
Yeah.
4.
When I think we
you-
did it before, it was done from January to April, maybe,
To
like
April,
it
okay.
was done until,
Yeah,
but then the actual plan wasn't presented, I think, until around December, it was finalized and put in.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not either.
I'm not surprised.
but did you do it before the previous plan expired?
Yes.
Because you
this says
can-
19.
you
It
can
was done
decide
in
If you wanted to extend
2017 is when we
extend the
started that
vision
one.
from this plan until, like, that would be, say at our next meeting, you would decide to just keep these strategies in place until the new plan is adopted.
And I'm wondering if that's not policy anyway, that this one remains
Continues.
active and live until the new one is in place. Yeah, can investigate that, but I would suspect that that might be the
So
practice.
investigate timeline.
And whether or not this remains, I would imagine this just remains active until there's a new one.
When we did the previous one, we started discussing it in November of 2017.
That makes sense.
It was finished by December of 2018 and it was ready for 2019. Oh, we're behind it.
So this one
behind
is
right
in
now.
arrears, okay. Okay. All right.
But that's also something you can
Realistically,
discuss
that took a year.
with that
Pardon? That took a year.
planner.
From when you
Yeah, but
started
most
to
of the
when it
work,
was in
most of
place.
the work, I think, was kind of done in the
First
first
4 months.
first 4 months.
And I was wondering, just as an aside to all of this, if it might be wise to have a year at a glance just created for all of us as board members, so that it would be what happens in any given year from January through December. But in that timeline that Jane's referring to, that would be in there too, that review is it time, like in October, to look at the next 5-year strat plan.
Okay.
So I'm just thinking that a year at a glance for a few things might just be really helpful. I know it would be helpful for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would have to be something you bring up at, like, I
As
don't
part
think
of
that
the
could be
strategic
part of
plan.
this.
No. Oh, no,
recommended
absolutely
action.
not
Yeah.
part of the strategic plan, just
Yeah.
as a thought, so that we can, when it's time to do this, it's on our mind, right? And we just kind of have, yeah. Okay, so where are we? Do we agree that we need to form a strategic plan committee formally,
Which is the entire board.
which is the entire board? Yeah, from the sounds of it, from all of us.
So is it a different meeting than this meeting? Like, is it an additional meeting?
Good
or is it
question.
Talked at our board meetings?
I
don't know.
don't know either.
I
How about,
personally, when I've sat on a board, it is outside. Like, it's a
And that-
we were a subcommittee. You meet virtually a lot of the time just to
Mhm.
go over tasks and things. But
Mhm. And then we would, of course, bring everything back to this meeting that was appropriate for this meeting.
because
Things that would need to be shared and passed,
Yeah.
absolutely.
but you would also kind of have to make sure that everyone can be part of the committee
Mhm.
time-wise.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. All right, so how do we move forward from this point? Do we need to agree as a board that we could be part of the committee, or do we ask who's available to be part of a committee?
I feel like it's a supplement, like who's available to be part of this.
I think that would definitely be polite and reasonable,
Like timeline.
Yes, of course.
wise, Like,
of course.
we can't meet during the day, but the rest of you seem more available during the day. Do you guys want to continue meeting at night?
I could meet during a lunch hour. I don't know if you're available, but it would be virtual. It'd have to be virtual.
And there's
My duties
absolutely,
change, so lunches
Yeah.
aren't available.
but there's nothing wrong with virtual. We can make that happen for everybody. We can find a way.
Do you want me to read what we did at the last one? Because I do have it here, the planning stage.
Yes, thank you very
Okay,
much, Jane.
So this was in December of 2017. And we had a discussion replanning process for the new strategic plan and review of census documents. So we discussed, we discussed it at our meeting, just our general board meeting, discussed taking surveys to the streets, collecting verbal as well as written responses, creating long forms and short forms. Focus group discussion revolved around whom to include, how to get information to them, ideas to keep it to 2 or 3 questions. And there was a thing about revising a letter from the last planning and proposed groups, which Linda Janney, who was chair at the time, looked after that. And there was a discussion on when, how to review the mission, vision, and values of the organization, and a tentative timeline was established. So for that, we had what was called environmental scans. So Kelly reported on library trends issues, and Bill Mooney, who was on the board at the time, and Andrew Evans. She did that. In the tentative date was January, and Bill Mooney and Andrew Evans had their information by February and they were all just done at each successive meeting. And the So they were to work on data gathering for Renfrew. The surveys, Margaret Maloney and Susan Tuck, with input from Kelly Thompson, were to be released between February and April. So that's when they actually went out to the public. And the focus groups, Linda Janney was the facilitator, and it also involved Susan Tuff as a library staff member, and then three of us, Kate Wendell, myself, and Donna. And reviews and questions and sent out letters for March were to be done by March 20th. And the leader of that group, so there actually, I guess there were some of these.
Yeah.
Leader
Sounds
of
like
that
it.
group, leader of that group reported to the board April 17th. And then the board, let's see, in May, we're to discuss SWOT and select 3 directions, identify goals and expected results, and then produce the report June 19th. And then the CEO was to organize a briefing for the new town, oh yes, because it was for the new town council in early 2019. So none of this was done before
Mhm.
this particular thing. But that was basically so.
Did that take place at board meetings or at?
These
other-
were done at board meetings,
At board
most,
meetings, okay.
except for the surveys and the focus groups, so they were done, and like the environmental things. And the sense that the environmental stuff was, we just basically looked at surveys and things, and I mean, I know how to do that for the census stuff.
But everything was presented just at a.
Yeah, it was just
board meeting.
presented at
Mhm.
each successive board meeting,
Mhm.
so there was always just a little,
An update
an
almost,
update, yeah.
where, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are we tonight with this?
I think you just have to vote that you're going to form the strategic planning committee.
That's what I'm thinking too, and then we can give it some thought and talk about it again next meeting.
Mhm.
All right,
And reach out to OLS.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I can definitely reach out to OLS,
And we can
definitely.
figure out if this one just continues on, while we
And-
make a new one.
Yes,
Yes,
because we
Yeah,
are,
that- yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
we have to keep this in place until.
right, because we are in arrears. Okay, so do we agree that we are just going to, this evening, determine that we are going to form a strategic planning committee? Is that anybody? Okay, we'll just do that tonight and we will go away and think about things and. Mhm. Okay, so we need to vote that members of the Renfrew Public Library Board form a strategic planning committee. And that's it for now. All in favor? Okay, great. Carried. Thank you, Sarah.
I just have one other question. Because it is 29 to 2024 and we will be late, should we be trying to speed up the process this time so that we're kind of, or can actually
Yeah.
have 2019 in, or sorry, 2024 in, yeah, 2025
Mhm.
In it,
in
Mhm.
2025.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we'll be a
2026.
full year behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that and a whole lot of other things are gonna go through our mind before our next meeting.
Yeah.
That we can certainly discuss.
about it,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely, Jane, thank you.
And then,
So let's remember to talk about all of that.
so anything you would like me to bring forward to next meeting, just
All right,
put on the agenda.
thank you, Maggie. We
You're
will.
welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Lots of good ideas, lots of interesting questions. All right, December closure request. So we'd like to put on the table that the Renfrew Public Library close the library at 4 p.m. on Tuesday, December the 31st. Can I have a mover, please? Lana, and second, Lauren?
Thank you.
Thank you. And Maggie, do you want to talk to that?
Sure. So, with the new QP contract, the staff were given the full day for December 24th. And so the half day and half day were removed. So the staff will be working their full hours on December 31st unless they use a full vacation day. But they were requesting that perhaps we could close at 4 p.m. in order for staff members to have the evening with their families or to
Mhm.
do as they like to celebrate. Like I said, everyone would still work their amount of allocated hours. It was just that we could close to the public at 4 p.m. It's also Susan Klink's last day. So yeah, we're just kind of hoping that we could request that.
Okay, any questions, thoughts?
I have a question, and like, I'm not judging asking to be closed, but why did they accept this in their contract, but then also ask? It just
Ask for
seems weird.
Yeah, it was offered because like I know myself personally, I would always use vacation time
Mhm.
so that I would have the full both days.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were just asking because we are open until 8 p.m.
So
We don't
if it
think
had
that
been
there
a
would-
Saturday closed
Yes.
earlier, or
Or even a Monday,
Wednesday,
Wednesday, or Friday. It's just
Yeah.
because it's on the Tuesday that they
It's one
were
of the weekdays.
asking.
Mhm.
Yeah, because in normal times we would like not normal
It would
times,
be
but
a half day.
it would be at 5 p.m. we close. So it's just because that's one of our days that we're open late. And we don't think that we'll have
Very many
a big
people.
turnout after
Yeah.
4 p.m. So. Yeah. And I know the town has activities planned as well,
Mhm.
and the library is going to participate in the New Year's Eve.
Mhm.
So we were just, like I said, hoping that we could just close at 4 and staff would actually work till 4:30 just to get everything. shut down.
And if you are participating in the new one, you would need more staff around.
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody else? Question for Maggie? No? All right, so we need to vote on, the Renfrew Public Library will close at 4 p.m. on Tuesday, December the 31st at 2024. All in favor? Okay, carried. All right. All right. So I need to put forth a motion that the Renfrew Public Library Board approve a temporary appointment of a board member as board secretary to discuss a confidential matter related to the CEO's performance evaluation, which is to be discussed in closed session at the regular board meeting of this evening. So we need to have a mover and a seconder so we can have that conversation. Jane? Thank you.
Second.
And Heather, thank you. All right, so to understand this a little bit more thoroughly, in order to have this conversation, we do need someone to take the minutes. So I'm just going to read you the information that I have about the logistics regarding this. So we as a board can determine our own secretary all the time or at certain occasions for certain purposes. So the actual act is section 15(3) of the Public Libraries Act, 1990, and paragraph 44. What we do is we would appoint a member to be secretary of the board for the duration of the closed session only. So the reason that is important for us to discuss this evening is because since the term of the new council, I'm just going to read this. Since the term of the new council, the office of the CAO and clerks has provided administrative and procedural support to the board. And as such, the board has not had to directly appoint a secretary amongst its board members. So we've had Carolyn and now we have Sarah. However, when I was asking the logistics of this from Carolyn, she said it is her recommendation that staff continue to provide this administrative and procedural support, even in closed. Understanding the sensitivity of the matter to be discussed, however, that procedurally it is wise, to be procedurally wise, it is best that the clerk or recording secretary remain in the room to record without comment. So without comment means they don't participate in any way. They're strictly there to record. This will ensure that the board remains compliant with the legation and that the discussions remain within the boundaries of the closed meeting requirements. Minutes are required to be taken and a copy of any documents discussed are to be retained by the town and will be held confidentially. However, if the board so chooses, they may appoint a secretary directly based on the legislation. If this is the desire of the board, I recommend a motion before going into closed to appoint the member, which we have just done. And the motion would be that the Renfrew Public Library Board, in accordance with the Public Libraries Act and those numbers that I gave you. Appoint the secretary of the board for the duration of the closed session on the agenda, November 18th, which is tonight. So we have a decision to make, and it needs to be a board decision. It's a highly confidential closed session this evening.
Is that what you are recommending?
I am not recommending
No.
that. I am not
No,
recommending
that's
that. Those are the
presenting.
notes about the logistics
Mhm.
from from what's Carolyn's title, town clerk, about the logistics. And also for within that is where documents are kept and how the confidentiality process works, right?
Mhm.
So you've got something on your mind, Laura?
Oh, no, I'm just trying to,
Read between the lines.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I'm trying
Yeah,
to do.
and it's-
Well, thank you.
Of course, and it's a very confidential matter. So we have the right, and it has been past practice, that the board does it themselves. That the minutes would be taken just for this section as for any closed session, and that the content of the conversations in closed are for library board members only. So any thoughts, ideas, any?
Personally, I think that's the route I would go, just because I think under the board policy of library boards, we are responsible. We're not, although the town provides us with the secretaries as part of this arrangement,
Exactly.
they're not actually part of the board. And in this particular situation, just because it's such a sensitive topic, I think we should be providing our own secretary.
And I would like to add to that as a board, we, I believe, do the hiring as well and the evaluation of the CEO. And this is, again, under our jurisdiction, and it's our responsibility. And it's our responsibility to do it with the highest level of confidentiality and respect to this role and this individual. So, anybody else?
Prior to having Sarah as our secretary, we always did it that way.
Exactly. That has always been.
We always
practice.
had our own secretary.
Mhm.
Heather, I believe you were secretary before this
I have done
board.
it in the past.
And a
my
very
minutes are
fine
very
job you
different
did.
than what Sarah's are.
And I don't think we need to worry about the minutes. I think it's the actual decision as to which way we go.
So
in
if
this.
I was to do it again, can I just send it to Sarah? This is what, no.
No,
So I honestly don't know where they
but-
go. to a
But
magical
whoever
place.
does it, whoever does
I don't
it,
know where they go, because I would just send it to Kelly. I don't know what happens to these minutes and where they go and who they get sent to.
Do you have a template or
No.
something for minutes?
when we are in closed, we will determine what needs to be written down properly.
Yeah.
And Sarah, you used 2 words to describe that we need to record
Any actions or
actions and decisions.
Mhm.
So actions and decisions will guide whoever chooses to be secretary. And then we, of course, as a group, will agree on the decision.
All right, well, I will volunteer to be secretary.
Secretary?
So you have to vote on the first.
Yes, all right. So thank you very much for that, Lauren. That's good to know. So first of all, we need to step back and agree that who agrees.
Can I ask a question? just
Yes,
Before we decide
Yes.
how to do this and whatnot? Where do the minutes go?
um,
I honestly, I don't know that answer.
So I can say we have all the regular
Yeah.
meeting minutes.
mhm.
But what about the closed sessions? Where do they go?
And
I do not.
there is a section, I believe, in the minutes for closed.
I know they're photocopied on a different color paper, because when we are shared them, we don't get an electronic version, we get a
No.
piece of paper. I wanna say like a yellowy orange, or it's very definitely not white.
I don't know, we could get,
Where?
I have never received. I've
I
never
don't
been
know
in a
either,
closed
but we can
session.
certainly ask that of Carolyn, or we could ask Sarah if she can get that for us
So
for
like if
another
Lauren
time.
volunteers to do this, if we decide to go this way. Where do these minutes? How do we
content
pass the information on?
I'm
They-
content to take the minutes and then decide this later.
Yeah, fair enough.
Carolyn did say that they need to provide them to the municipality.
Mhm.
So somewhere within the town.
Yeah.
But
they would
until
go
that
with our other
time,
closed
until that
minutes.
time, the secretary takes responsibility for keeping them, typing them and keeping them safe until that time. Okay, so anybody have any other questions or objections or concerns? All right, so Jane, you would like to do it with our own?
I would motion that we do that, yes.
Yeah, and I'm comfortable with that too. I would prefer that as well. And Lauren?
And Sarah, any actions taken or
Decisions.
Okay.
I'm assuming you would like to
I will
do this in board.
volunteer to do it in board, and I'm content to maintain the document and decide what to do with it later. I can lock it, I can print it, I can
Okay.
send it to.
All right, but that's
Vote
gonna
on
be,
this, yeah.
yeah, we're gonna definitely vote on that.
Sarah wants
So
that.
Sarah,
Unfortunately.
so Lauren,
There'll be two here that we have to do. I have to add the second one to bring.
Yeah. so you agree that you would support going into close with our own secretary?
Yes.
All right, Heather, Donna?
Yes.
Okay, so we all in favor? Carried.
Okay.
All right.
So there will be a second motion that we'll put in here now.
Okay, so we need to, okay, do you want to read that one? Please, Sarah?
So I will update the one that you had mentioned.
Thank you. There were 3 motions required for us to go into closed.
And then leave closed.
One only to leave closed. Yeah. 3 to go in, 1 to leave. Just want to do it right and do it like, fully informed and everyone comfortable.
So that the Renfrew Public Library Board, in accordance with S 15(3) of the Public Libraries Act, RSO 1990, CP 44, appoints Lauren Davidson to be Secretary of the Board for the duration of the closed session item H.1, noted on the agenda as of November 18th, 2024.
All right.
Very special.
You'll need a mover, a seconder.
Okay, so can we have a mover, Heather, and seconder, Donna? Thank you.
And a vote.
All in favor? All right. So are we now ready to go into closed?
So you go into the motion to close.
Yes, I'll go into the motion to close. All right, so we need a mover so that the Renfrew Public Library Board convene in closed session with authorized staff remaining in the room pursuant to the following section of the Public Libraries Act, RSO 1990, section 16, 14B. Personal matters about an identifiable individual, more specifically how it relates to CEO evaluation.
We don't have authorized staff remaining.
No, we're going in,
I said, we
don't have any authorized staff coming in with us. No, we do not.
No.
So do we need to change that in the motion, Sarah?
I can make an addendum. to
Could you,
that.
thank you very much.
So you'd like it to say with no authorized staff remaining in the room? With
Correct.
No further. No additional authorized staff.
Well, none of us are staff, so just no authorized staff, I think will be sufficient.
I think it would have been if Sarah was remaining.
Yes, yes. Good point, Maggie. Okay, do you want to read it when you're comfortable with the way you have it?
Yeah.
Sarah,
Sure.
thank you.
So that Renfrew Public Library Board convene in closed session with no authorized staff remaining in the room pursuant to the following sections of the Public Libraries Act, RSO 1990, Section 16.14B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, more specifically, how it relates to CEO evaluation.
Excellent. And the time is 6:07.
Is it voted?
You still need to move second.
Oh, I need a mover, please. Heather, thank you. Seconded, Jane.
Is that the third?
I think this
to
is
go
the
in.
fourth.
Feels like the fourth.
I think it's the fourth.
And a vote.
All in favor? Okay,
You just take you off Zoom there for the.
so we just need to turn us off.
Okay.
Okay, and I have to do my own little, we're gonna be climbing the walls.
We're live.
Okay.
Okay, are we live? Okay, great. So we need to come out of closed session. So I need a mover for rise and report. That the Renfrew Public Library Board rise out of closed session at 6:44 PM with the following information stated. That we have discussed the evaluation and agreed to allow the chair to formally share the findings with the CVEO by December the 31st, 2024. All in favor? Carried.
Okay, I don't think we did a mover seconder on that.
Oh, could we have a mover and a seconder for that, please? Okay, Jane and Heather. Okay, thank you. Get the hang of this. All right, do we have any upcoming items for our next meeting?
Do you want me to share these things that I wrote today?
That would be,
I have a copy of the survey we used and a copy of the strategic planning that we did, the outline kind of. I can just send that to everybody. Is that okay?
very helpful.
So the strategic planning from 2017 will be shared at the next meeting?
Yes, so I read the little summary that I read about the steps we did.
Perfect.
And then I have the survey as well, that we did the last time.
It's 2017.
Yeah, it was in 2017.
Thank you. And Donna's going to take a look at her notes as well from that time. So thank you, Jane, and thank you, Donna. That would be great. So we'll put it on the agenda again for next meeting. Maggie and Sarah? Right. Is there anything else that we need to discuss?
Don't know
Heather?
which is the next meeting. What's the next?
I'm
meeting?
just about to tell everybody. So the next meeting of our library board will be held on December the 16th at 5 PM.
Can I request virtual attendance at that meeting?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Yeah, I can't
anyone
make
else,
that too.
just let us know. Pardon me?
Sorry, I can't make that too either. I thought it was the following week.
Okay, so regrets.
Yeah, regrets from me.
Regrets from Heather. All righty.
Did you want to adjust it to the 23rd?
No.
No.
I
just figured that was too close, so, okay. Okay,
So
no
Heather, as long
problem.
as you're
Yeah.
okay with that.
You're like, no, thank you.
It's a very busy time. and-
That's like our
Yeah,
Christmas
we-
concert week and everything
It's
happens that
okay.
week.
We want to be respectful of everybody's time. It is December. It's very busy. Absolutely. So do we
we need
need a
anything?
motion?
No, we don't need a motion to leave. Do we need to do anything for Susan?
So
Uh,
Maggie,
that
you
on
said you would
camera?
keep us in the loop about that?
Yep, so
Just leave
we did decide, because her last day is the 31st and December is so busy, it's something will be held in January.
Okay, perfect.
I think, yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we are adjourned.
Wonderful.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
It was a
you.
long meeting. I
Already summer.
appreciate everybody. Lots of good
That
chat.
was great, yeah.
Thanks.
That was really good.